I think we should maybe start off with the premise that Kamala Harris clearly had a better night, and we should talk about the ramifications of that. I don't think that I would get a disagreement from either one of you that she certainly got the better of him. The question is it going to affect the polls? What are the reasons? And we can dive deeper into it. But do we agree, at least agree on that?
No.
Okay, Bill. Well, you're our guest. Go for it.
Well, I do think she won the visuals. I do believe that I produced a few feature films, and so I pay a lot of attention to the visuals when I'm looking at something like this. And if you looked at the side by side, Biden versus Trump 3 or 4 months ago, and only the visuals, well, even without hearing Biden talk, Biden lost. But last night, what you saw were the visuals that showed she was clearly a much more attractive, much more charming, much more relatable character, and that matters to a lot of voters. And she spent a week prepping for this thing, and I thought maybe she was curled up with a book on statistics and accomplishments, and she did not end up talking about any of that, but she did end up looking good posing for the camera. And her reaction shots were I'd cast her in one of my films. She was that good. Trump, by contrast, looked like he was mugging for he was posing for his next mug shot. So my guy did not look good. And then even then, he didn't sound that good. He was clearly comfortable with her, and he doesn't like her, and he didn't do anything that addressed her directly, and I think that was unfortunate.
Yeah, I thought he got put off by the handshake right at the start of the debate. I thought that was a brilliant move on her part because it put him off his game from minute one.
Well, as I said, they spent a lot of time rehearsing body language and looks before this event, and they clearly orchestrated her beeline to his podium to give a handshake, and I'm sure the signal was that she was presidential and she was in charge. And you're right, he didn't look like he wanted to touch her. So there was that, and we're off to the races. But if
you
the
think he won on the substance?
Well, if you look at what they talked about and things that matter to voters, if you do just taking a look, and I've did a couple things here, the way they talked about issues, economics, he brought it up 26 times, and she mentioned it 13 times. Immigration, the border, he brought it up 15 times. She did 4 times. Crime, he mentioned something 10 times, and then she mentioned it 3 times. And so if you just look at the skew of all the issues, he was putting out statement on facts, and not so much on style. And she was more appealing to our heartstrings with both her style and what she was saying about things. And also, she had the help of the 2 moderators. I mean, the format was, we're going to give you a question. The answer will be embedded in the question. Go for it. That's what they did with her. With him, it was a little more hostile, and they never fact-checked her, and they fact-checked him about half the time.
Well, I would say, yes, you talk about how many times the issues were raised, and then there's the issues of how many times he lied. I mean, he lied blatantly about abortion, that all Democrats wanted Roe versus Wade overturned. He lied about crime. It seems like I have to say it so many times, I'm blue in the face. There's American citizens, there's undocumented immigrants, and there's documented immigrants. Undocumented immigrants commit crimes at the lowest rates of the 3 groups, which makes sense practically because they don't want to get caught. Yet he lied about that. He lied about crime going way up. It went way up under him. It's gone way down under Biden. And they fact-checked him on 3 egregious things, on this myth about the pets being eaten in Springfield, Ohio, on infanticide. So there's just, I thought he was flailing. I thought the first part of the debate was more equal, but I thought that every single rabbit hole she set for him, he went down, particularly on the crowd size. He rehashed the old lies that people don't want to hear about January 6th and about the stolen election. So I thought it was the worst of Trump without the best of Trump. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, Carrie.
Well, Bill, you were kind of my spokesperson just now. So, yeah, I agree with what Bill said. I think I actually thought some of her visuals came across as condescending, though. There are a few times when she was like, "Well, tell me more." I mean, it came across as so like a school marm being obnoxious and elitist. So I think she didn't do her any favors with men. And so, yes, there is a pronounced gender gap with Trump, struggling with women. But let's talk about the fact that she struggles with men. And I think she didn't do any favors for herself on that front, in the way that she spoke very condescendingly to him numerous times. I think also, again, on the issues, that's a great quantified number of issues. On the economy, that is really, you're talking about thousands of dollars of household net worth just erased under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris because of inflation. And so it was great that he reminded people of that. I do think that he was not channeling his inner Reagan of being much more optimistic. And he should have smiled more. He had a couple moments, the run spot run thing, that was a great line. He should have brought more of that, just the sharp wit that he has. I think that was something that was missing.